Hi, this is writer-director Terrence Williams. I will be your guide on this behind-the-scene montage. Here's the cast and crew setting up our first dolly shot on the first night of shooting. Here's Will Morales, also known as Mozart, and Marcelo Molina, who plays the part of Shifty. There's Nicole Lincoln. She was our wardrobe slash script supervisor slash still photographer, among other things. And here we are setting up the craft service table, and I'm searching for the Canon XL1 as usual. I want to let all you up-and-coming filmmakers know that Transit was a very low-budget film shoot, and even though we didn't have the resources or the money to hire all the people that normally are hired to make an independent film, we kind of had to double up and do numerous jobs. That guy up to the far left is Andy. He was the lighting guy slash grip slash boom operator slash mixer, and I myself operated the camera, was the director of photography. I edited the film. I wrote, produced, and directed it. So we all kind of wore numerous hats. I mean, like, our crew consisted literally of 6 people. And the actors pitched in every now and then and helped out however they could to move equipment, to help with the set design or whatever it be. As a matter of fact, the guy that shot this behind the scenes footage is Bron Theron, who plays the part of AM. He also was the production designer on this movie, and I congratulate him because he put together basically the whole look of the murals. The final mural that Richie paints at the end, he collaborated with another graffiti artist, and they kind of shaped the final mural, and that was very important. I kind of told them what I was going for, and from there they took it. Because, I always feel bad when, you try to tell the artist, well, this is how I want you to paint it, or this is the way I want it to look. I just kind of laid out what I was looking for, and, they took it from there. So I congratulate them on that, and I congratulate him on bringing together all the different crews, because what I was going for, I was trying to represent West Coast graffiti and LA graffiti, because it's a scene I feel that hasn't been given its due credit. So he brought together different artists from different crews to give it kind of a universal feel, and show the rest of the world, this is West Coast graffiti. We didn't have any stunt doubles, as you probably could tell, because like I said, this was a major low-budget film, basically a no-budget film, and everything was shot El Mariachi style. A lot of stuff was shot in one take, and in this particular scene, Will runs into Shifty by accident, and Shifty's fleeing the store attendant. So our main actor Will was having a problem and falling. I don't blame the guy, he's falling on hard concrete with no padding, and it was looking really artificial. So I kept pulling him to the side and telling him, try to make it look more realistic, but be careful. But it just wasn't working. So I had to pull Shifty to the side and tell him, hey, look, I know this is wrong, but I just want you to run around the corner and pin him without no warning. Because prior to that, I kept calling out each actor's name and giving them a cue, and from that, Will was anticipating the hit. So I had to tell Marcel, just hit him without any warning. Sorry about that, Will, but, luckily nobody was hurt and we got the shot. That's one of the cons to making an independent film of this nature is you never know what's going to happen. It's very exciting, but if somebody gets hurt, that could cost a lot of people, both personally and financially.
While the clerk is chasing Shifty,
That voice you're hearing in the background, like I said, is Bron Theron. He shot most of this behind-the-scenes footage. Him and Nicole both shot the footage whenever they could. I really wanted somebody to document the entire shooting of the film, but like I said, we were all overworked and we were all doing numerous jobs, so we literally had no time to really document the entire film. We caught what we could, because ever since the advent of DVDs, I've thought that the two coolest things are the director's commentary and the behind-the-scenes featurettes that a lot of DVDs have that give up-and-coming filmmakers a look into how movies are made. And my philosophy is pretty soon DVDs will replace film school, because personally I went to film school and I learned a lot more listening to established directors and newcoming directors tell me how they did certain things versus sitting in a classroom and reading books and whatnot. There's a scene where they fall. It's looking kind of artificial, I don't think I had cued him yet to just nail him. One problem with this location, a lot of the locations I picked out because it was low key and there was low police activity, which I was crossing my fingers and hoping that no cops would come by because we didn't have any permits. So I picked out locations where not that many people would pass by. And this one location, it was pretty desolate after 5 p.m. There was nothing but businesses around. One problem it caused, though, is it was right next to a freeway off-ramp. So we totally picked up, like, all the cars that passed by. And on this particular night, the boom mic wasn't working for some reason. So that really put us in a bad position. We had to use the XLS1 stock microphone. And I know that's a big no-no, but when faced with the decision of either shooting with bad sound or not shooting at all, I kind of went with the bad sound. But it sounds all right. I mean, not what I really wanted, but it worked. Like I said, the script supervisor was doing numerous other tasks, so she didn't have time to take Polaroids of all the actors. So in certain events like this where the two actors have fell and there's props that are laying about, we just had them stay in the same position where they were while we set up the next shot. I mean, it maintained continuity, but I know the actors really hated it, as you can see on Marcelo's face. Of course, we didn't have any permits for weapons, and we didn't have any police officers on duty, so we were taking big risks by having actors pull out weapons, because you never know, people might pass by. There's a drug and gun free zone sign. When we were shooting this part, ironically, it was the part where Shifty pulls a gun on a bum, and a real bum passed by, and she kind of interrupted the shoot for a while. She was crazy, I think. She was mumbling something. And we were totally cursed by sprinklers. For some reason, sprinklers kept coming on all hours of the night, wetting the pavement for some weird reason. I noticed the city of LA has this thing with watering the pavement, not the grass. There's the actors helping us move stuff. Well, we had to move everything so it wouldn't get wet.
Shit, I gotta move all this shit.
Yeah. Do you want to do that now, Nicole? What kind of stuff you guys got going on in the maker chair?
This is our second night of shooting. We're shooting once again under a freeway underpass where lots of cars pass by. But it was a cool spot because it's an actual graffiti location where a lot of taggers go and get up. And I thought it'd be real authentic to have this. As a matter of fact, every location in this movie is authentic graffiti spots where a lot of writers go and hang out and do murals and whatnot. It was kind of dangerous though, because they had a lot of squatters that slept nearby, and you never knew what was going to happen. And on this particular night, we had a lot of surprises. First of all, we had the wrong manual to the XL1, and I'm kind of familiar with the XL1. However, I'm not a sound guy, and we could not figure out why the boom mic wasn't getting sound. And later on, I figured out that there was this little door that you flip open, and there's this switch that activates the microphone, and now I know. So to all you filmmakers out there, make sure you know everything about the camera before you get on the set, because if you don't, it's gonna slow you down. We lost 30 minutes, but we lost even more because we got a lot of footage with the stock microphone, which I said it wasn't really what I wanted. You pick up everything, pick up all the ambient noise and the freeway noise and whatnot. Here we are on the scene where Shifty's arrested by the cops. Here's Joe Byron, Officer Friendly. Here's Ronnie Alvarez, who plays Mouse. He totally looks nothing like a gangster in real life, and did a really awesome job as Mouse. And in this scene, we had to paint Braun's hand black because Braun did a lot of the stunt work for Shifty when Shifty does graffiti, because Marcelo Molina is not a tagger in any way, and Braun is in real life, so he had to fill in and do the throw up. So we had a little dilemma. Let's try to turn a white guy into a black guy. On this particular night, the police helicopter showed up and started flashing their lights down at us. I'm sure somebody called them, or maybe they passed by and seen all these people writing graffiti and all the lights and stuff, and they're like wondering, okay, what's going on in this underpass? So I was really worried, and so was everyone else, because we had just finished doing the graffiti, and we weren't sure if they had seen us doing it. And on top of that, we hadn't finished shooting the scene. So if they would have showed up and kicked us out, we could have been fined, or equipment could have been confiscated, and more importantly, we wouldn't have been able to finish this scene, which was a very important scene in the movie, because it kind of sets the tempo when Gonzo threatens Richie, because then you know, like, there's something at stake. So it's kind of funny to watch everyone in a panic. Everyone had their opinion on what we should do. There's our sprinklers again, trying to mess up the shoot. As you can tell, they're watering the pavement, not the grass.
They don't want to water the street, they want to water the grass.
I think in this scene we should have it start raining.
Do you have any new
Basically, the cops never did return that night. I think we really lucked out, because they probably seen the lights and all the equipment and figured, oh, well, they're just shooting a movie. Little did they know we had no permits.
on the tripod over there? That's a great place for it. Yeah, it is. It's covered. That's cool. I'm happy with that.
There's our boom guy solving the sprinkler problem. And here we are shortly after the whole helicopter incident. There's the shifty throw up on the wall that Braun had just finished doing right before the cops showed up. Well, the police helicopter at least. And as you can tell, we still had a lot of dialogue sequences to do, so I was like totally worried tonight on this one particular night, because I just knew for sure any second the cops would show up. There I am, looking stressed. I kind of jumped in there and did some graffiti for the movie too, because I used to be a graffiti artist myself. On this particular spot, I'm doing gang graffiti, which is basically ugly. It has no style. So I kind of had fun doing that, just doing this Gonzo, and I think I wrote Sleepy or something. I forgot what I wrote. Just generic gang names. Took me back to the days of when I used to do this for a living. I might note that we did paint over all the graffiti we did do in the movie, so if anybody's watching this, we did clean it up afterwards. Here's Bron Theron, who plays AM, our production designer, and he designed, like I said, most of the murals in the movie, and he put together all the graffiti artists who designed the murals in the alley, Richie's Prize Murals. Here he is doing the interior of Richie's mural, which I wanted kind of an old school flavor. That's why I chose the old English letters, because originally when I wrote the script, I was trying to set it in 1992, 1993, when tag banging first came on the scene in Los Angeles and kind of started ruining the graffiti art form. Because, you know, one time tagging was, you know, if you had a problem with another tagger, you guys would battle. At worst, you know, you guys would duke it out. But around 92, 93, as I can recall, a lot of taggers started transforming into gangs. A lot of them started carrying guns, and it became really violent. And nowadays, you know, you're more likely to catch a bullet than a beatdown. And that's really my purpose of making this movie. I wanted to show that there is a difference between graffiti artists and gangbangers or tag bangers, who are the few individuals messing it up. Here we are at a location in Long Beach where we painted the final mural. What I had to have happen was I had to have the real graffiti artists fill in as the stunt doubles to the actors, because none of the actors in this movie had ever wrote graffiti. Most of them had never even heard about tagging, which is kind of strange to me. But you know, we had to basically get the graffiti artists in there, do the mural, stop the camera, put the real actors back in, start the camera again, record some of the dialogue scenes, pull them out, and then throw the real graffiti artists back in there and have them finish the mural up without having the police come by and catch us or any civilians. As a matter of fact, at this particular location, after we finished the mural sequence, when we came back the following night, the cops did show up and give us the boot. But luckily, I had finished shooting all the scenes I needed to shoot at this particular location. Originally, the scene where John Doe shoots Shifty and Ivan, it took place at this little cool train location that was right above this underpass, but we ended up not being able to use that because we got the boot. Here we are in the alley where Richie shows Malcolm all of his prize murals. We had like 4 or 5 artists that came from different crews, CBS, DTC, PDB, and various other crews who came down, and each of them did a different mural, and I thought that was kind of cool because it'd give the movie like different styles than just having one artist do all of the artwork, which originally I was going to have happen. But I'm glad Bron invited different people from different crews to do each one of the murals. There you have a Gandhi that was done by Bron. You have a Mozart. I'm not going to say which artist did that because they are actual graffiti artists, so I don't want to drop the dime on anybody. And the characters were done by one of the artists. And here I am crossing everything out. I did not have fun doing that, contrary to what people might think. It really hurt to just mess up something that earlier that day had took 6 to 7 hours to do. And here I am fucking it up in like, 1 minute? And that's how it is on the streets. Somebody can just come by and cap your shit, and it's fucked up, all this hard work for nothing. But that was one of the things I was trying to show in this movie too, how these guys basically do all this artwork and people just come by and fuck it up.